live. We're good to go, man. Today I have the very talented Adrian Brown. How are you, sir?
What's going on, Tony? How you doing,
Uh,
man?
we were just talking a second ago before we started recording here. It's like that. The name of your business is what? How do you pronounce it?
All right. For those that don't know, I mean, you probably see me. I am this guy.
That
For those,
guy.
I am, I am KÄGÉ Graphics. That's how it's
Okay, graphics.
pronounced. Most
And what
people
is it?
probably they don't pay attention to the accents on it.
I
Kage
don't.
means shadow in Japanese. Yeah, yeah. Kage means shadow in Japanese. It comes from like I'm a behind the scenes guy, Tony, and I mean, I do voiceover work. I'm a graphic designer. Most people don't see my face, so so it's like my friends in Charlotte. They're always just like, your work is everywhere now. Because when I was doing flyers for club promotion and stuff like that, your work's everywhere now, but nobody seems to know who you are. So I'm just like, man, I'm kind of like a ninja, aren't I? So I started building off of that, and I kind of make myself a little brand called the Graphics Ninja.
The
So,
graphics
and the
ninja.
one thing that
Nice.
yeah. So just like it's like I sneak in, I sneak out. Nobody knows who I am. So it's just like well, they don't know my face. They know my business and they know my work. So I mean, even my original crest design, there are ninja stars in it. So I mean, I've kind of set that off for myself in that little territory right there. Yeah. Plus, I admire Japanese culture and things like that. I get that from my pops.
Well,
He
you're
always
go
had
go well because you're
katanas and
you're. I
shuriken.
think I found out from you earlier. You're very much into anime stuff, are you not?
Yes, yes. I'm an anime head. Always have been. So
Eh,
yeah, I mean, I'm all about that culture. 'Cause that's where I started, as far as my design work goes.
So well, speaking of
That's my
design work,
roots
what
right
is
there. I
what
mean,
is your background in that? What got you into doing design work?
as far as trading cards or just in general.
Just in general, and then we can move into trading cards and what progressed. What made you go into trading cards after that?
Well, I've always been an artistic. I was always an artistic kid. I mean, I always drew things. I believe I was always probably one of the more talented artists in my class of peers. I mean, especially paper and pencil, markers, you name it. I was. I mean, and that's probably why I ended up getting a degree in architecture. So I mean, I work in telecommunications now, but I always knew I was going to do something artistic of some sort in my life. So, but I was always fairly talented when it came to artwork. And as far as trading cards go, my mom got me. She worked at Walmart for years, so they're always throwing things away. So it was
Yep.
so about the beginning of the trading card boom at the like 88, 89, 90, the junk wax era.
Yep. Yep.
You know, I had a ton of that stuff. I had a ton of that stuff because of her. You know, 90s Don Russ, Tops, Fleer, all that stuff. But
Was it
I
stuff
don't know,
that
it's
you were
just like
interested in
when she got
collecting?
here's the thing. I wasn't even interested in that stuff at all initially. Like I said, she just brought it home and my brother and I were hooked on it after that. It's just like just reading stats of baseball players, we had no idea who they were. I'm just like, what the heck's an Andy Van Slyke? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like every time she would bring us stuff home, it was just stuff they were gonna throw away. But we would keep it. And then just like, we progressed little by little into getting like, holders and albums and pages and things like well, again, all junk wax, but we didn't care at the time because we just loved it. But after a while, I just fell so much in love with trading cards. I translated my talent for drawing into actually drawing them by hand. Initially, it was just me, like being here in North Carolina. I would draw myself as a Charlotte Hornets player, or 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 like I draw myself as like a White Sox player because I was a big fan of Frank Thomas at the time. So, and I'm
Big
just
Hurt.
like, and yeah, and I mean, I kid you not. I mean, I've been doing trading card design since I was in middle school.
So a couple
I mean,
weeks.
think about it. I mean, couple weeks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm 43 now. Full disclosure, but yeah, I've probably been
Hey,
doing
I'm
trading
I'm
card
I'm
design since
51.
I was.
Everybody knows that now. So
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I probably started drawing trading cards by hand, pencil and paper, whatever, around the time I was like 12, 13 years old. So, Yeah, off and on, I've been designing trading cards for almost 30 years.
Well, I'm
And then,
looking at the stuff you've been doing recently in the last
still ain't got the call. I still haven't got the call up from Topps or Panini. So,
I
but
I
it's
when
all good, man.
when I jumped onto Twitter finally and started checking everything out on Twitter, you're one of the first people I actually started following, I think, in the early rounds I started following.
Mhm.
And because you were putting out that
Right.
some of the NWA Power and the PWI set, and those PWI sets are beautiful looking. And I was
Thanks,
like,
man.
but I was like, are these like legit cards? Like you printing? Can people buy these, or are they just images?
Yeah, they're just images, but uh, I don't know. Part of me wants to go into the whole shebang about everything that happened with me last year, but I mean, I don't know if I really should.
Well, I mean, you don't want to get into
But
stuff, especially if you had any C and Ds thrown at you and stuff like that. I mean, I've been in that boat too for different other things in the past, but card related too, as a matter of fact.
I mean,
But
I mean, I guess it's not a problem if I talk about it, but it's just like I don't want to cause no problems. It's
no,
just
no, of
like
course not. We're not here
I've
to
been
we're not
down
here
that.
to cause any.
No, I've been down. Yeah, I've been down that road before, as far as it go. But I'm just like, it's cool that people like what I do. I mean, just like initially I was sharing that stuff on my personal account, and before I started pushing everything over to my business account. I guess you was just like then all of a sudden everybody started finding me. I guess you could thank the wrestling cards guy Nick for
Yep.
like sending my stuff out to everybody, and those two guys, I swear, after those two guys found me, I swear like everybody found me,
Yep.
and it's just like just like, but I mean, I appreciate everybody for liking it. So it's just, to me, it was just a hobby,
Well, didn't you do
and
a? Did
to
you?
see
You
how
just
much.
recently did a one-off card, didn't you, for Thunder Rosa? And then Chuckster got that, didn't he?
Yes, I just did it as a giveaway for reaching 200 followers,
Yeah.
and the other guy, I'm not sure because I did the Rhea Ripley card for him too because he won too, but he hasn't posted it yet. It says it got delivered. I don't know if he's just off Twitter right now for a moment,
Same guy,
but yeah,
Chuckster.
Chuckster. No, a different guy. I can't
Oh,
remember
different
his
guy.
Twitter handle right now, but yeah, I gave out two, but there were metal cards of the PWI set that you're talking about. That's actually based on 2008 Panini design that's what I do though. I take existing designs and I put
Hmm.
my own twist on them. So try kind of make it my own thing, but you can see where the framework comes from. So I study these things a lot. My wife gets on me a lot for the fact I don't get paid for doing this, but I spend so much time doing it,
But
Tony.
you love
I
doing
spend
it
a
though.
lot of time doing it. I love doing it though. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so relaxing for me. Graphics is my therapy. I mean, that's one thing I mean, I actually did go to school for it too. I mean, I'm not just some guy who taught myself. I went to school, learned these programs, and learned how to deal with line work and um, making sure you match colors and things like that for printing. Like I said, other I have done printed work before. Club flyers,
Sure.
business cards, things like that for people. I know, I'm not just some dude doing this. I know what I'm doing. So
Well, when your designs like that, I mean, especially when it comes, is it just old designs from like Panini and other or and Tops, whatever? What inspires your designs? I mean, where do you get your inspiration from to do these kind of designs?
it's I mean, it's just my love for doing it. Period. I mean, if I see something that I like, whether be it an old design or a lot of the newer Panini stuff, like the reason I like the Panini stuff a little bit more because I mean, this funny story. Like back in graphic design school, um, one of my classmates, she always made the comment that a lot of my actual work looked corporate because I was big on using white space a lot
Hmm.
and making sure things were balanced and clean and stuff. I didn't do a lot of splashy stuff. So and Panini stuff with the way they use their white space and how it's always completely balanced a lot of times with a little bit of pop.
Hmm.
I kind of like that stuff as far on the newer end, but I love the older top stuff. I
I
mean, I
think I
don't know
think
something about that junk wax. So,
was it
go
you
ahead.
that recommended to me about when I was making my Kevin Nash card about sometimes simple is best.
Yes, that was me.
So that's kind of where
That was me.
I ended up I was being overcomplicated, where I ended up having just a simple back.
Perfect.
So
Perfect. I saw that when you posted it too. I'm like, good job, Tony.
Because I was
But yeah.
really, my partner said, I was overthinking it, because I was trying to make something kind of elaborate,
Mhm.
nice, cool in the back with some kind of faded image in the background. And he goes, I don't know, it just seems too busy. And then I saw your post and you're like, sometimes simple is better. And I go, okay, I'll give it a
Yeah.
try. And I
Because
love it.
yeah, that what I the image that I tagged you on that I posted on that right there, that's a design I did from Fight Plaza. They sell a bunch. It's this guy. He does a lot of lucha libre signings.
Hmm.
I did. That's one of those cards I designed for him. He sells a lot of those things on his eBay store. I think all those ones. It was like I did like 6 designs of lucha libre legends for this dude, man. That was an honor for me. I'm talking Blue Demon Jr., Dos Caras, all those guys like that.
So
That
you
was
s- you
the
you
back
design
that
the
I
image
showed you
and
for
send them off
that.
to him. Does he get to, does he give you a copy of each card for you for your own self?
Nah, I don't ask for stuff like that. They want to send me something, I do.
Do you
I
collect?
don't beg for free stuff, man. I don't collect wrestling cards. I
Shameful.
my first I know I don't collect. Okay, okay. I guess I shouldn't say I don't because I actually started a small PC of Baron Corbin and Nia Jax last year because I'm fans of both of them because I just love how much they draw heat with this era of fans.
Yeah.
So I love guys. I gotta love people like that who can do that with this crowd these days because there's too many because like, everybody's over with this bunch,
Sure.
because of the PWG era of wrestlers because like everybody loves everybody. So I like people like those two who can draw a little bit of heat and it don't fit the traditional mold of what these people like now. So I started a little PC of those two. I bought a couple of cheap undisputed autographs of both of them last year and stuff like that. So I've started that. But as far as like going out seeking wrestling cards, I don't really collect.
Have you ever,
Like
or is that just something
like
new,
my
or ever?
I started with the Impel set. Like again, the junk wax era.
Sure.
I
Oh yeah.
started with the Impel set.
91. Yeah.
I had that entire set. Got a box of it for
I think the,
super
the
cheap
running
when I was a
joke I've always
kid.
said
Got the
about
whole
that set is that they're still printing it to this day.
they're still printing. I remember you saying that on the episode. I watched pretty much all your episodes, man.
Thank you, man. I
And that's
appreciate
pretty much the truth. I had that. I had that and the set with the set with the stars around the border. I
it.
can't
That's
remember
championship
the
marketing.
championship marketing. That's what I had almost that entire set. Along the years, I think I just lost it. I lost both of them. So I don't know. After that, I didn't really seek out wrestling cards for the most part, even though I still watch wrestling. But I've
Well,
always
man, I
collected
should probably
the
have you
other
on an
sports.
episode. We can talk one day about you're a wrestling fan who doesn't collect cards.
Like I said, I keep up with it. I follow the market and things like that. I keep up with with trends and things like that. Now, I'm not deep into it like like England or something like that.
Sure,
But
sure, yeah.
I mean, I tr- I'm not about slabbing and grading and all that good stuff.
So you have
But
no interest in that
trust
stuff.
me,
There's
I
there's
pay
there's no
attention.
investment level to it to you. It's
No, like I said,
strictly creative.
I collect but I do collect cards in general. I've got Yu-Gi-Oh cards over there. I've
Oh,
got
nothing wrong with it.
Naruto cards. Like I said, you got to remember I'm an anime fan.
That's right.
So if it's on a card, a lot of times I don't like I said I don't spend a ton of money on it.
I should send
But
you my
like I
my
said,
little gift packs I got years ago to convention, Yu Yu Hakusho or whatever it's called.
I you know what? I think even my stepsons might like that. So
I should send them to you.
that's a little bit more. Yeah, you probably should. But yeah, I have like I try and keep up with put it this way, I buy blasters of like football and basketball and things like that. I'm a casual online group breaker and a casual like retail buyer. Like I said, it's not like an investment thing for me. Like I buy it and flip it. It's just like I keep what I want, and it's just like most of the time I just send the base cards. I just wrap them all up at the end of the year. I just give them to Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, very nice. For
You know what I
years,
mean?
on that
So
lines, I had learned from a friend of mine when I was back in California that I had so much inventory when it came not just wrestling cards, but non-sport stuff. And then I had the WWE Raw Deal game, and I had all kinds of odds and ends stuff that I didn't care. Like it's amazing that these cards, I think these cards breed because I ended up finding more and more. And
they
so
will pile up on you in a
right,
heartbeat.
right, yeah. And so it's like I'm getting back into it now again, and behind me, I'm like, how did I get to this point in only a couple of months? I mean, But I used to go and take them and put them in little tiny team bags, and then for Halloween we give them
Yes.
out for Halloween instead of
Yeah.
candy.
I kid you not. Like when I finally just decided to like dump all a bunch of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I had before, I keep all the ones that I know hold some value, and I'll just maybe get rid of. I'm put them a bunch of them on eBay probably later this year or something like that. But
So there's a
all
little
the
bit of there's
like
a little bit of a
the
seller investment man in
that
there.
slightly. It's nothing crazy, but it's just like I just like when I just decided to just dump them, like the collector's tins and things like that. When I finally decided to get rid of them, like there used to be in one of my old apartments, there was a bunch of kids that used to play soccer in front of my apartment, and it was this big old field. I just took them all out there, and I just put the box of all my old junk wax and all my old Yu-Gi-Oh cards right there in the middle of their soccer game.
I bet
They
they ate it
stopped
up.
everything they were doing, and they ate it up. They all scattered, and they went home. I'm like, you never know. That might start a bug in somebody,
That's
and they may
right.
start a collection of their own.
I
You
think it's
never know.
important. It's kind
And
of one of the things
I
that's
like to see.
it's kind of what's going on. I think what people are more little YouTube things are popping up because WTC was founded on educating people who were collectors, what they had, what they're looking for, what they didn't even realize they were missing, that kind of stuff. And now it's kind of
Mhm.
I just kind of started these little YouTube things to kind of, one, kill some time, two, do some personal stuff, and then three, hopefully maybe educate some people. And it's always nice to see kids getting involved because they're the next evolution of
Right.
collecting. It's like that, and it's a fun hobby. It can be a fun hobby, not even just from an investment
Yeah.
standpoint, but just to collect. If you're a fan of Baron Corbin's like that, or you're a fan of Nia Jax or whoever, I mean, why not?
Right. And it's just like, I mean, doing something like that for me, it could just be like what happened with my mom, just bringing home a bunch of junk wax. And I've always stuck with it in some way, shape, or form, whether it's just like buying blasters occasionally or constantly designing.
I mean,
So
who's to
you
know
never
that some
know what's going to start in some kid.
go force? Who's to know that that box you put out there could have like inspired some kid who saw a card, go, this is really cool. All of a sudden, he wants to draw it, and he becomes an artist. You never know.
Exactly.
You might plant a seed.
You
Who
never
knows?
know.
Uh,
Right. And like I said, I'm always about passing, paying it forward and passing it on to the next generation and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, you just never know. You never know. Collecting cars may keep a kid off the street. You just never know. So,
it's always good to be a good human, no matter what. Uh,
amen.
what you have, so you've done the PWI. I first got turned on to you because I saw your PWI stuff because I'm relatively new to Twitter
Hmm.
for that account, for WTC account. So
Hmm.
I saw that, I go, wow, these are amazing. And I'm like, are these real cards, man? That'd be so cool. They're real cards. Like I might actually want to collect these if they're real cards. Then I saw your NWA Power stuff that you were doing. I go, oh man, are these also real cards? 'Cause I think I might want to collect these too. And even though I don't even know who half the roster is. But do you have any
I am so
future stuff?
sorry. I'm so sorry if all that stuff teased you, man. I'm sorry, but
It
like I
really
said, I'm an
did.
artist, man.
Yeah.
People, I mean, people love what I do. I love giving people cool stuff to look at, and it's so sad when I get those DMs. It's like, yo, man, can I buy these? And I'm just like, I'm
I'll
like,
bet that
I
probably
don't really
happens to
know
you
what to
quite often,
say or
I bet.
do. So quite a few times, but I don't really know what to say or do. But I mean, I'd hate to just be like, okay, I can do it for you, but you can't show nobody or something like that. That would be
Yeah.
really, really crappy.
I'm
Because like you
I
want to
had
get
that
something
same.
cool, you're gonna want to show it off.
I exactly, and I had a similar situation for one of my other businesses doing card games like that, which I eventually got a C and D on. And but people are like,
Hmm.
man, I loved your pro printing of quality of your pro printing stuff on all these virtual things and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I really appreciate it because that's what I was really charging you for. I was charging you for the service, not the cards, because the cards themselves, these images, you're free to print out all your on your own like that. But I was
Right.
providing a service. That's where I thought my legal loophole was. And I still to this day, it's been many months now. And I still to this day, I probably get at least once or twice a week. Any chance you bring in the pro printing stuff back? We'd love to have it. And I'm like, no, man, I'm a big believer in Stone Cold's DTA, man. Don't trust anyone. Can't do it.
I know, right?
As much as
Because
I'd
I'm
love to
like,
do it.
you just never know. Somebody's gonna snitch on you by accident.
Yeah. Oh, guess what I got?
Maybe not
Guess
even
what I
on
got in the mail
purpose.
the other day? I got these, and where'd you get them
Check
from?
check this out.
Yeah.
And
So
then they're gonna
I
tag everybody in it. And it's just
Yep, and I hear
uh,
you on that one, man. It's kind of like, but it's not your game. It's not your game is not to go and design cards and make those cards to print. You're just designing them because you love designing. That's what I'm understanding, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, when
I,
someone
I
like
got
Chuckster is lucky to get a Thunder
I
Rosa
got
card.
tempted into I got like I said. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, when Chuckster is lucky enough to get his favorite wrestler Thunder Rosa, it's like that, a metal card from you. So it's a one shot. It's just here, it's done, boom, there you go. Thank you for following me, kind
Yeah,
of
it was
thing. So
like I said, yeah, it was free.
yeah,
Yeah, it was free. So I mean,
yeah.
I didn't make no money off that. So,
It's
but
unfortunate
it's
because you
just
would
like
think that these
after
companies
studying
would want to hire you.
graphic design though, Tony, it's just like I understand about the whole copyright infringement and
Mhm.
IP stuff. Like I said, that was part of my studies.
Yep.
But it's just like I don't get it. It's just like third party is not allowed, but fourth party is okay. Like, like I love Brian the Brain stuff. So I'm just like, he can give out the bowler cards, but here's the thing, he could just give them out. But here's the thing, the people he gives them to can
Can
sell
sell
them,
them exactly, which is they became
but
hugely
they can sell
popular.
them, but he
Yep.
can't sell them. But I'm saying he can't sell them,
Uh huh.
but the people he handed them to out of his own pocket, they can
Yep.
sell them.
I
So
made
I'm
him.
just
I gave
like,
him away as a gift, and you profited. Thanks, people.
cool. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody will probably listen to me say that, and they'll probably tweet at me or something like, "You really don't get it, do you, man?" I'm just like, whatever.
Whatever.
So I'm just like, you got to see where I'm coming from here, though, man. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can give you something for free, but you can sell it and make a profit yourself.
Yep.
I mean,
Something
so
ain't something ain't right with that flow
tell
chart.
me what's fair in that. Something ain't right. I mean, keep it real here. There's something that's not right with that. But you know what? Like I said, it ain't gonna stop me from designing. The
No,
CND
no,
almost
no.
did, but
You
it almost did. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you.
well,
It almost
what
did,
it
but
does is it kicks you in the nuts, and you kind of go, you
yes,
know, now I don't feel inspired anymore. I don't feel like it just kind of sets you back. You're like, I don't want to, I'm still going to design because that's your passion, your love.
To-
So I'm going to take it somewhere else.
Tony, 30 years was almost about to be done for me. This interview right here wouldn't be happening after all that. I was pretty much at that point right there. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me.
It's soul
So I'm
crushing.
just like, I mean,
It
yeah, it
really,
is.
it really is. Like, I
I
mean,
mean,
I
come on,
went out of my,
all that lawyer speak in the email and everything. I'm just like, come on, man.
I mean, I went out of my way to make sure that I did the right way. I got an artist to do this for me, and then we wrote out a deal. So
Yes,
I own the rights to make just the trading cards. That's all I agreed to do is trading cards. So
right. And you represent Kevin too.
and I represent
So
Kevin,
he has
but
no problem with you
nope.
using his likeness.
Before I
He has
even
no problem with that. So
spent a single minute even designing the cards like that, trying to lay it out and everything, I had messaged Kevin saying, "This is what I'm doing. Let me explain to you what I probably told you over the years I've known you about WTC and what it was. Looking to bring it back. There seems to be interest in bringing it back. Here's what." And I was going and going and going. And he told me to shut up. And then he tells me, he says, "Listen," he goes, "this is clearly a passion project for you. You send me whatever
right.
you need. It's like that. We'll take care of it. We'll do it. Let's do it." I said, "I appreciate that, man. I mean, just you let me know what I owe you. We worked out our deal, and that's where we're at." So I have them all in hand. They came in yesterday. I got them all. They're all here, ready to go, and
Right on.
I'll be
I'm gonna
shipping
get
them off.
I'm gonna get one. I'll probably get the base. I'll
The
probably get
base
the
the
base to help you
base is
out.
only
So
$5 and not in non autograph. I mean, the cheapest one is the one number to 25. Those are $20. You get the autograph number to 25, and you get a base for that price.
mhm. Oh,
So
cool. I
the
might
one of
get
one
that
sold
too.
out
Shoot.
in
I
less
hope.
than 2 minutes. Uh,
I'm sure. Well, that's a pretty good price. I saw it was $100.
$100. And so my partner goes, "I think maybe you did it too
Yeah.
cheaply." And I go, after I looked at the numbers and I said, the thing is, I've been a part of forums and boards about different types of things where they do an annual fundraiser to help make the boards free of advertising and blah 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 and pay for the server usage
Mhm.
and that. And I'm like, I just can't. And they give you nothing. And I go, I can't. And I donate because I use the boards and I want to use them. It's like donating to Wikipedia. It's like, and I'm like, I just
Yeah.
can't see taking people's money and not giving them something in return. So that's where
Yeah.
this
You're
whole
giving them
idea.
something tangible, something. Yeah,
Correct.
something they can collect.
And I've had this
This
idea
isn't
of
just like
making
you're giving. Yeah, they're getting something for their donation.
correct.
So
And
you did the right thing.
so I've like and I've been wanting to make a trading card under my own banner for like 10 years and just could never get around to doing it. And well, technology today makes it so much easier with different websites you can go to design and blah blah blah. And
Yep.
Nick was very instrumental in helping me figure out, different companies that were printing and what they charge and this, that. And so I was very pleased with the company I used. It's very, very good quality stuff. And I think collectors are going to
Yeah,
be
I know
happy
that.
about these.
I saw it. I know the one you used. So that's the same one I use. That's the same one I use for the metal card for
I figured
that I
out the
use for
same
the
thing too.
giveaway. So
And those aren't cheap
yeah,
and you get no breaks.
it's not that. No. Actually that's it's not too expensive. I mean, it's and it's decent quality too. I actually when I finally
Oh yeah.
got it
So
in
how is it?
hand and
How is the
looked at it,
quality?
it's beautiful. When you see it, like ask
Okay.
Chuck, he'll tell you. Ask him like the colors pop on it. I mean, it's really nice on that metal card, man. It's really nice
Hmm.
because
I'm
it's
I
odd
may
though.
be inclined to do something
I
like
told Nick
a limited run of the Kevin Nash version. I might be inclined to do something in the future of like a limited exclusive run for some kind of promotion.
hey, it's the perfect thing to use for that. Cause like I was telling Nick this too. It's just like on the actual card stock, it's like a shade darker, but on the metal, I guess because of the shine, the color pops like a shade lighter, but it looks really awesome on metal.
I'm very intrigued now. I
Yeah. So
almost, almost did it.
if you were gonna do that with the Nash card, I'd go full color. I wouldn't go because it currently is black and white, right?
It's all
The
black and
painting.
white. Yeah, it's just this is the actual card right here. So
Yeah.
black, white, gray.
Okay. Yeah. If now, yeah, I'd actually go full color on the metal. Do a color version of that if you were going to put it on a metal card. It would pop and
How
you
do I
get a
turn that into a
huge pop
color?
from whoever get it to. Well, I'm just saying if you were going to get a different version of it done.
Oh no,
I don't know if
that's
I don't know if that
the actual
artist can do a
painting.
different version of it.
Yeah, that's the actual
Oh,
painting
that's the
that he did.
actual painting.
Yeah. So
Oh,
what
okay.
happened? I've talked about it briefly on other episodes like that. But what happened was with that is I had booked Kevin for an in-store appearance at the Wrestling Guy store for the store's sixth anniversary in 2019. And he came in. And what happens is when talent gets booked to the store, they have what's called a ceiling of fame. So the panels above get popped out and replaced with one from like Home Depot or Lowe's, where the Anthony, as it called Sun Crusher, he does a quick sketch on using a Sharpie, like the morning of the appearance. But he was a fan of
Hmm.
Nash and did a painting the night before, in addition to the Sharpie version for the ceiling. And
Hmm.
he took a picture. I go, man, I'd love to make a trading card of that one day. It's like that. Can you take a nice picture of it for me and I'll save it? And then hopefully one day down the road I'll make something. And he took the picture for me before it got signed, and that was a painting he did using an oil-based painting on that. And uh, I love it, and I'm hoping that for other talent that come to the store down the road, that maybe I bring in, he'll do more for me, because this was
Hmm.
originally just done to drive money to help pay for the site, because me and my partner have been paying for out of our pocket every month, 10 to 20 bucks, whatever it may be, or whatever they raise their rates to, every month since December of 2002. And it's a labor of love. It's a free website, free information. It's all free, and it'd just be nice to have it fully funded at some point. We could just focus on bringing it back up to date. And I said, well, maybe I can try a fundraiser, but I got to give something in return for it. And here we are. And now I'm getting people going, you could do this like 2 or 3 times a year with the talent you work with like that, make some cards. And I go, I mean, if I'm fully
Hey,
funded for 5
hey,
years.
hey, you know a guy who could help you. You know a guy who likes to do that. So
Yeah, but we have to talk about it
uh,
and work on it and figure out designs and what I got to pay you. And it ended up becoming a whole fiasco. And there's not a lot of money being made in trading cards, as a designer. There's not a lot of money being made in it. Even as a manufacturer,
mm,
there's not a lot of money being made in it. You already know what your budget is based on your licensing rights. You already know how many cards you need to print and put out and produce to make your money back off of, if you're making a 30% increase, a 40%, whatever it is.
yeah, and you got to pay the talent who signs the cards anyway. So
Yeah, yeah, you're paying the talent anyways. So there's not a whole lot of money being made. It's the secondary market that actually makes all the money on it. It's like that. They're the ones that like, oh, I got it graded. I got a 10. I got a 9.5. They make the
right.
money on it. Um, so I'm learning as I'm going along as now a card maker. um, my numbers weren't correct. I'm actually not going to raise enough money I thought I was to fully fund the 5 years, because I forgot.
Mm,
Oh yeah, the PayPal fee, and then there's this fee and that
yeah.
fee, and I mean my printing cost, and I had to do a test run, and then I had to go out and test different Sharpies, and that all gets added into your cost. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna actually probably have to dip a little bit in my pocket to pay for, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay
Yeah.
with it. And they're not
But you,
selling as fast as I
it's
thought.
not like you're coming out. It's not like you're coming out completely.
Oh
I
no.
mean, in the black or nothing like that. I should say. So
Yeah, so I mean, it's just, I mean, I knew what my costs were. I mean, I knew what it's going to cost me. I'm like, okay, if everything sells out at the price I have, it's $1,200 I'll make. Of that, I got to deduct like 250 for my expenses and the printing costs and blah, the test run and then the pens. That's about 250, and then so it leaves me about
and the PayPal
950.
fees
Yeah, then
for
the
every
PayPal
single person
fees.
who orders one.
Yeah, then they turn around and kick my ass in the fees, and I'm not losing another $100 in fees. I'm like, now I'm at like
Then there,
850, and then
then there's the shipping.
there's the shipping, which I tacked on $1 for, which I was just going to put in a top loader in an envelope and send it. It's like that kind of thing.
Right, right.
Um, but I'm like, okay, I should have known. As a former power seller on eBay, I should have known. So I'll know for the next one. There will be a next one. I just don't know of who yet. I've talked to several different talents. They're like, whatever you want, Tony, let me know. And I'm like, okay, well, at least there's interest. That's great.
Well, that's
Uh,
good.
but so there'll be a second one and a third one, a continuing series like that. And I have to kind of be creative and think, because it's not for me to make money off of. I have other avenues to make money off of cards if I want to, not off my own.
I mean,
I
it's good
could.
promo material for your website too. I mean, your
Exactly.
website and everything's on the card. So if
Yep.
it sells, like say somebody sells it on the secondary market, and they'll be like, "Oh, what's this website?" And when they see it on the back of it,
I'm
you
not
know,
gonna lie.
that's more traffic.
I'm gonna get probably a semi chubby when I see my card on eBay for the first time. I think I will.
Hey,
I'm like,
I
oh,
felt I cut. No, I felt the same way. 'Cause honestly, I know you guys talk a lot of times about how hard it is to get the independent stuff or the custom made stuff authenticated or whatnot.
correct.
But um, my uh, I'm a huge fan of Evil East. She knows that. That's why that's why I got that card of
Mhm.
that initial Panini Impeccable version of that card made for her.
It's a
She actually
beautiful looking
wanted it,
card
so
too.
yeah. So I sent it to her. She got it printed, whatnot. But when somebody actually sent it to me, somebody actually got the picture of her on eBay signing it. Beckett actually authenticated it for the signature. That's how you go about it.
Correct.
That's how you end up slabbing these like cards that aren't necessarily like under the Topps banner or the
Correct.
upper deck or the banner. If if you want to do, that's how you would do it that way. And I actually, like, trust me, when I saw that, I was just like, I popped huge. I was just
Yep.
like, something I designed is in a Beckett slab.
Correct. Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
if
that is awesome. I
someone
was
does that
just
to
like,
one of my cards, I'd be like you. I'd be like smiling from ear to ear, a grin from ear to ear, and like, wow, someone actually took the
I
time to do it.
screenshot that. I screenshot that. I put it on Instagram and everything. I was just like, something I designed is in a Beckett slab.
Yep.
I was just like,
But
I was like, come on,
it's
man.
an interesting take that we haven't talked about before in the past, and I do have a planned episode coming up where we're going to be talking about authentications and independent stuff, because it seems to be the growing thing right now where independent companies are out there. It's a very cheap and effective way for them to advertise and market themselves, which is
Yeah,
outside the realm of their actual home base, because the internet makes the world very small, that they can go in
yeah.
and advertise their talent. But that's an interesting outlook to look at it, where companies will go and grade it based on the signature, not the card.
Right. But that's
That's
because
where
that's the easiest way
that's
to
where
do it.
you're seeing like those FCW cards where you had the Seth Rollins and Dean Ambroses and all that stuff on there. All the ones getting graded are the ones that have autographs on them.
The biggest example of that is the all in set.
Correct.
I mean, from that set right there, almost everybody gets that slab. It's just like you can see slabs of those everywhere on eBay. So,
Hmm.
but that's it. Though. If you have something to compare it against, like say you got a Kota Ibushi like autograph picture already authenticated in the Beckett archives, all you gotta do is compare it to that.
Sure.
That's how you get your stuff slabbed. Just don't say, because I'm just like, it's not really a licensed card when you those cards that these promotions themselves give
Correct.
away.
Like we're trying to
Because
figure
I
out. Matter of
mean,
fact, do you
if it's
know
not under
off the top of your
Tops,
head? Do you know off the top of your head if
what?
because you mentioned All In, who actually produced those cards
I think they produce those in house.
for Ring of Honor?
I believe they produce those in house. Yes, I
So
believe they produce those in house. I don't.
that's the
Yeah,
going.
there's
That's what
no
we were trying
branding
to.
or anything on it.
There's no copyright. There's no information in the back, which is the
Mm-mm.
smart way to go. Which I mean, there's other cards, throughout history that have done that too. But it was just, when I go to archive that based on WTC and make a checklist for it like that, I like to always attach whoever the manufacturer may be. So it sounds like it's Ring of
I,
Honor.
as far as I know, is produced in house.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
mean,
thought.
you can't quote me on that 100%, but as far as me looking at the cars myself, seeing them online and all that stuff, for what I can guess, I mean, they produce those themselves.
Yeah,
So
that's what we kind of gathered as well. So I'm just kind of getting your take on it. But um, that's kind of the first thing we're tackling when we start the site up again and start getting more checklists added. One of the first things we're going to be tackling is all the independent stuff. And Chuckster and Paul from the Wrestling Card Price Guide, man, those are the guys that know all that stuff. They've been collecting that stuff
oh
like
yeah,
crazy.
I appreciate those two guys. I'm like you got to appreciate people that understand that, like, it's just that, like, here's the whole set. I want the whole set. It's so much easier to do it that way though.
Yep.
So I'm just like hunting down base cards is, I mean, unless you're a completist. I mean, the last thing I ever tried to complete was like the 2008 Topps baseball, because I just love that design.
Hmm.
So, and it's just too hard. I'm just like,
Yeah.
even if you buy individual packs and things like that, but being a completist sucks, and
Yeah.
don't get me started on the
Yeah.
parallels either.
Yeah.
So I
I mean,
I
God,
couldn't do
God
that.
help the person
I
who
couldn't
wants
do
to.
that either.
Yeah, God help the person who's trying to collect all the current stuff.
Hey, let them let them have it.
Yeah.
I appreciate people when I see when I see like people, like, I have a lot of like PC collectors that follow me on Instagram, and just to see their sets of like the whole rainbow of,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, say, I mean, anybody, LeBron James or something like that. They're like every single level, and the
Well,
one, including the one of one. I'm just like,
it's the beautiful
it's
thing about
impressive work to
collecting.
me.
It's the beautiful thing about collecting. There's no wrong way to do it. It's whatever makes you happy.
No,
And
no. I
I
mean,
appreciate that. So like
I mean,
you get someone
whether
like
you're
me
trying to,
who gets,
whether you're trying to get
yeah,
whether you're trying to get everything graded like Peck in England, or you just want to, like, just some nostalgia like Chuckster.
yep,
So there's no wrong way to do it.
nope.
Period. Or if you
So
just want design like me.
yeah. Do you have anything coming up that you're designing? That any other wrestling? Because we are wrestling based here.
You know what? I have not. I've been debating whether it's time for me to post it or not, but it's just, I don't know. It's been like posted a whole bunch, and it's
Because
been super popular lately.
I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite thing that I've seen your designs like that is that PWI thing. That all that was beautiful. That was like that to me would be a dream set
Right.
for someone like me who'd like I would buy that. I would totally buy that set if that set was available because it's just awesome. It's a cool idea. I don't know why like PWI wouldn't hire you to just graphically design cards for them and then put them out in their magazine.
But think about this though, and like, that's, if you do the PWI 500, that's 500 permissions
Correct.
to use their
Or they say, you know what?
images.
As part of
So
exclusive for us, we're doing our top 10. That's it. We're gonna make our top 10 will be card design.
right, right.
I
But
mean, but there is,
I
I mean,
don't know.
there's all
I've
the
been trying.
licensing issues about, obviously you got to clear it with WWE or clear it with AEW. You got to clear all that stuff. But
Exactly.
it's not
I don't
like we
know.
can do like,
I've
was
kind of
it?
took a
It's not like you can do like, was it Panini who does it, where they airbrush out people's logos and stuff like that for baseball and
yes,
shit.
yeah. What they do, especially with like the incoming draft classes or something like
Yeah,
that, when it comes to like football, they'll like Photoshop the college player in his like pro uniform, even though
yeah,
they haven't done any photo shoots yet.
and you can't
I'm
do that
like,
for wrestling.
that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I'm like, I want to get in there. I want to do some stuff like that. I'm
Yeah,
pretty good at cloning. So,
pretty good at
but
clone.
not yeah, I'm pretty good at cloning. That
You
was
know
something
what?
that was a tool I learned to use really well back at school.
We had talked about it jokingly, but now it's making me feel a little serious about it. We Chuckster and Paul and I had jokingly talked. We should do like our own trading card of like the inner circle, like the Godfathers of pro of wrestling cards, like that or whatever. Like the
I
something
watched that
like that.
episode. Yeah, that
Or
was your
like
first round table, I think
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
was.
And they're like, that's kind of funny. All right. And now you're like, now we know a guy who could design something.
Hey man, like I said, I mean, honestly, I was so shocked when you actually wanted to talk to me. I'm like, I'm not a super collector or
I
anything
know,
like
but you do
that. But
beautiful
you know
artworks like
what?
that for that stuff like that. And it's like, I think that would be great. I think a company like Upper Deck, who had now allegedly, supposedly has the AEW license, would be like, Hey, let's go over that guy. Let's talk to that guy. They were like,
I was really I was super hoping they would get that license because honestly, when I started doing mock-ups of that Fleer design for AEW and stuff like that, a lot of people were like they couldn't wait for AEW trading cards, but a lot of people were dreading Panini getting the license
yes.
because Panini floods the market with so much. They were so dreading Panini getting their hands on wrestling at all. So I was just
Mhm.
like, the only thing I could think of, I was just like, I was super hoping Upper Deck would get it. I mean, because they have one sole focus. All they have is hockey.
Hockey.
That's it. And they have exclusive rights to LeBron James and Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods,
Yeah,
and guys like that. But as far as a sport goes, they have sole rights to hockey. So they have one sole focus, and their hockey designs are like incredible. So I mean, expensive, especially on the higher end stuff like
sure.
that. But I'm just
I,
like, so I'm thinking right now, I'm just like, I'm thinking about dual and triple autos they can be doing. I'm really kind of intrigued about what they're going to be coming up with, man.
well, our
I'm a big
roundtable
fan of
session, we
their
just
hockey stuff.
our latest roundtable session, which we just posted last night. Check it out, people. Um, uh, we did talk a little bit about that. So, and for me personally, it's like I hope they don't blow their entire wad on the entire roster signing right off the bat. I'm really kind of hoping that they tease us with more stuff down the road.
How familiar are you with the AEW roster, though?
For me personally, I mean, only what I read.
Okay, 'cause, like I do a wrestling podcast too, so I mean, trust me, I put this equipment to use
Yeah.
for a lot of different
What's the
things.
name of that
But
podcast?
but as the buckle turns.
There you go.
But on every single streaming platform. So check it out. But I didn't get a chance to record too much last year due to COVID. I mean, kids running around the house need to be educated
Sure.
and
Yes, they
everything.
do.
So, but anyway, but anyway, I ain't lost my train of thought. But anyway, as far as
You're
the
yeah.
okay,
You're asking me
AEW
about
for the
AW.
most part, they have they have a core signee base. It's basically that original bunch from like the All In
Mm-hmm.
event. That'll probably be what they focus on. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, the Lucha Brothers, guys like that. A lot of guys I'm a big fan of anyway. I'm not super fond of this era of like this style of wrestling, but I enjoy some of the personalities. But I think they're probably gonna. I think if they were smart, they would focus on that core group as far as because like they have like a ton of people on wrestling on their YouTube streaming show called AEW Dark, which is
Mm-hmm.
like their developmental whatever thing. Dark it's their dark matches of people who aren't gonna
Yeah.
win right away. They're jobbers basically
Yeah.
who are just testing them out. If they get a bunch of them to sign it, then they'll probably be going too far. But if you get your core base, your Codys, your Brandys, like I said, your Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, those guys, and you focus on them, it'll be a nice core set. Probably bring back memories of the TriStar stuff and
Yeah.
things like that because a lot of those guys from that set too. So if they keep it condensed, I think they'll be fine. So
I'm interested in seeing what their design looks like, and
me too.
how many they're going to produce, and I hope they don't mass produce and overproduce. Um,
Upper Deck isn't big on parallels either. Upper Deck's
Thank
really
God. Thank God.
like one thing they really do with a lot of their hockey stuff. They do a really small like short print base set. And that's one thing I made a suggestion to Jan too on Twitter. It's like, what can you do to make base cards popular again? You got to make them short print.
Mm-hmm.
More people will search out base cards if you really, and they'll hold more value if they aren't just like unnumbered and mass produced.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, or I'm not saying like everything's just numbered to 99 because then every case would be like every box would be $300.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Minimum.
you can't do it that.
Yeah.
You can't do it like that. But just let people know like what the run is or something like that.
Well, at least I know how many cases you're
Maybe
producing,
people
and
be more interested in it.
let them know how many
True.
cases you're producing. Let them do the math.
No, you can do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, I've been wanting to have you on for a while like that because I just I'm a big fan of your work. I think that you make some beautiful card designs. I'm looking forward to seeing what you got coming up next as far as design wise. If you have anything coming up.
Oh yeah. As far as anything new coming up, I have something new, but it's old. So it's
But on the flip side of
I
that for
mean, I,
me,
I guess I would.
on the flip side for me, it's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got coming out, but it's just a tease. I can't actually own it.
I'm sorry, man. I
It-
hate to do that to
it-
you, man. It's like you're torturing yourself here. But
yeah, I know, but
honestly,
I wish somebody would pick you up as a, like a lead designer or something like that for one of these companies out there to get you paid for your talent.
I mean, honestly, man, if Panini did get since I'm a big fan of their design work, if they did pick me up, there are so many things I can advise them on, at least as far as wrestling goes. I mean, classic matches, you know, you know what I'm saying, dream matches, any type of random sets like that.
But as you know,
I couldn't even touch design.
when
Yeah.
you start getting into stuff like that, like these like dream matches and classics like that, you have to start. It's always about licensing. It all comes down to money. It always comes down to money.
Yes.
And so even though
Yes.
somebody's not with the company anymore, I got to go to the state now and I got to get the rights and da da da. And I had learned back from the Comic Images day because I was very tight with those guys when they started putting out those first few, the SmackDown, the Superstars, all those, the No Mercy set. Um, learning the process of a card set. It's like, hey, Tony, you know what? These guys go crazy and the money seems to be like with all the autographs and the swatches like that. But the real money for us involved in the time is making base cards. That's where the money is because we have to go through and work with the company with at the time WWF, and they send us like this picture that approved shots. Like, don't forget, you got to airbrush that Levi out of at Matt Hardy's
Airbrush it
pants.
out.
You got to airbrush out that Pepsi cans like that. And so there's a lot of work involved in doing that for just a base set.
Right. I mean, you got to cover your butt, man.
Yeah,
You just do. I mean,
I know.
like I said, I mean, I probably only see the fun side of things, just me, throwing some images in this laptop right here and just having some fun with it. I don't see all that stuff. Like I said, I think you had said that before on another episode about all that airbrush and stuff. I'm like, wow, I didn't think of it that way. So I'm like, maybe this ain't all fun and games.
Well, it's just you kind of go back and forth. When I had Jeff Zapata on early on, he worked for Topps for 13 years, and he was there during the WCW era, so he had to work with that a little
Mhm.
bit. And then he was there for like the first 6 or 7 releases of when they picked up the WWE license in 05, 06, yeah, 05. And he's like, it was like working night and day depending on the company. Like you could literally just walk in backstage from a WCW event and go like, "Hey, sign the stuff. Okay, I'll sign some stuff." Blah 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 blah. It was like really easy to get along with. Whereas with WWE, it became like it was, one protocol after another protocol after. I mean, it had to be all these different steps and approval rights. And like, okay, here's 6 pictures for John Cena. You can only
Jeff
use
Hardy.
these. You can
Okay.
only use these
Yeah.
6, and that's it. And so pick
Right.
something. And okay, well now you can use that one, but you got to do this. And can you flip the image this way because we don't like. It's just a lot of learning that stuff from Comic Images was eye-opening to me. Like I never thought of that kind of stuff. I guess that's why it takes so long for stuff to come out.
Something similar to that happens with Panini because, like I said, Upper Deck has Michael Jordan's rights. So it's say if they want to like put out like a classic Scottie Pippen card, if Michael Jordan is anywhere in the image, you have to like slide him off or something like that. Like they like Panini got hit by Upper Deck sometime last year because like just the top, just like the eyeballs of Michael Jordan's head were like in a picture of Pippen dunking. They were like, they're like, okay, like wait a minute, you can't do that. So I'm
That's got
just
to be
like,
crazy. So
okay,
I mean,
so
there's so many different things that I think that the typical collector doesn't think about. It's like that, but a lot of cool stories to tell about that kind of stuff. But I love your work, and I just wish I could buy a card once in a while when it comes out. But who knows? Maybe one day I'll say, hey, can I just go ahead and print my own card out? I guess I could print my own. I can grab your images and print my own.
I got the raw files, man.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's just
Maybe we'll talk after this is over.
we'll talk. Something. It's just cool. I mean, it doesn't have to be everything or something like that. I just think that I like what you did, where you kind of made it an incentive program for to increase your followers. Like, hey, hit 200, I'll send you this card, kind of thing. That's kind of what I've been going to be doing with the Kevin Nash when I have some upcoming plans for some special things.
Yeah.
And then kind of do that to increase followers and engage. I'm a big believer in just engage, engage, engage to create content. And
Right. Because I'm just like, it's nice that people admire the stuff I do, but I'm just like, one day I'm just like, let me just give somebody something. Somebody might actually want these tangibly one day. Because
Yep.
this is actually the second. That's actually the second giveaway I ever did. I did my first one when I reached 300 followers over on Instagram. I'm actually up to 600 now, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So I'm like little by little. I've invested a little bit in this social media game, trying to get my following up and trying to get some eyes on my product. I mean, to the point, like a couple of wrestlers have reached out to me. You've seen some of the ones that have actually
Yep.
posted that they actually, got work done for. And, if I'm not mistaken, that could be, I mean, those are probably their first autograph cards of those people, but it ain't going to be official. So,
No,
but hey,
we have a lot of
but whatever,
not
man.
unofficial stuff out there.
Exactly.
Trust me, we have a whole episode
Exactly.
we have planned coming up talking about that, and bootlegs and this, that, and the other, and licensing rights and all that kind of stuff. So it's a weird subject, I know. So
I
we
might
just
have to
we
sit down on that one.
so and I don't think it's going to
Well,
be. Nope,
unless
haven't
you
done it
already
yet.
recorded. I was like, maybe
Nope,
no,
haven't done it yet.
maybe I could sit in on that one.
We're doing I mean, I dropped it a little bit at the last episode. I think it was. Zan Mornings like that. Um, Big time collector, heck of a guy. He's got his Wrestling with Cards YouTube channel, which I watch every single episode.
I gave him a subscription. I
Yeah,
gave him a subscription, man.
he
All you guys, I give you all subscriptions,
I
man.
appreciate it
You're all
too.
good people.
But he and I have a joint thing coming up here soon. So we're
Worlds
doing.
collide, right?
Yep. Worlds collide. You got it.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we're gonna be. I think we're gonna start recording some episodes really soon. Really, really soon.
Okay.
But we're gonna
Well,
be
you
tackling
found
some.
yourself a little niche doing this, man. So keep it up.
Yeah, yeah. It's just to have fun and talk about the hobby and hopefully educate some people.
Yeah.
And it's nice to get some of the response back from people. Again, that first episode we ever did for WTC. My partner David goes, after the episode, he goes, "You realize we just lit a fire on our own asses now because people are going to want the site to come back." And I go, "Yeah, it's a good feeling to have it come back."
You're gonna have to carve out a nice little piece of time to update everything you missed, man.
Well, you know
So
what? It's
I
true.
wish you all the luck. I wish you all the luck with that.
But that's the key thing about it is the copy pasting of checklists is going to be really simple and easy. It's the relinking of images that are going to take the time, and I'm not in any hurry to do that. That's sort of
Right.
a secondary project. But when I have guys like Chuckster and Nick and Paul and have some really
They can
good,
just send you the checklists.
they already
Yeah,
have them. They're like, we've been waiting
they
for
already
you.
have them. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want anybody sending anything to like a personal Gmail account. I want to do everything right this time because I built WTC off an old GeoCities account.
I remember.
And it's hard coded. The whole entire site was hard coded because I developed websites internally for AOL at AOL at our office in Irvine, California at the time. And so I'm like, oh, I got nothing to do, so I'm starting to build another website for myself. And I hard coded everything. I opened Notepad and just bracket HTML bracket body bracket. I just did everything all by hand. And then copy paste, things like that.
Right.
So now I'm using templates. I'm probably going to go through WordPress. I'll talk to Paul and see how the design for his site. I love his site, and it's coming along. It's just process. So, and my wife goes, "You're spending a lot of time in that office, not making any money." Tell me. Patience, my little Padawan. Yeah. So,
patience.
looking at possibly doing some advertising with distributors or retailers. Like, hey, you want to buy a box of new to 2021 Disputed from us? I'll link to their page and they can buy it. It's like that. I mean, I don't know. I got ideas, and ideas end up costing me time. So.
Hey, same here, man.
So
When
I
I get an
know.
idea, I'm right in front of this laptop, and my wife still needs quality time.
Yeah,
So,
they sure do. Yeah,
so
but I appreciate you carving out a little bit of that time for me. I love your work, and I hope you keep doing it, man. And I'd love to have you back on for maybe a roundtable session down the road here, something.
hey, just let me know, man. Like I said, time difference, may be a thing, but just let me know the subject. Maybe I can chime in and things like that. But or if you just want another body or a face on the screen, it's okay.
You got it, man.
Like I said, I podcast too, man. So it's just, I mean, this is Maybe this helped me grow my portfolio. You never know.
You never know. Never know, man. So I appreciate your time, and but until the next one, I guess, right?
Right on.
All
I'll
right,
be
man.
here.
We
I'll
are
keep.
out.
All right.